Hello everyone. I hope you are having a good day. So tell me, have you ever heard about a locust attack? Or are you even aware of what locusts are in the first place? Locusts are flying insects and are more commonly known as short-horned grasshoppers. Locusts are usually found in solitude. However, sometimes they come together to form huge groups, leading to a locust attack. A locust attack is when the ordinarily harmless locusts start attacking and devouring crops and consequently disrupt the area's food supply. Our country, Pakistan itself, has gone through a couple of locust attacks, particularly in Punjab, which significantly damaged food availability for a prolonged period, leading to significant economic losses and starvation. The story I'm about to tell you is also about a locust attack. How do the characters in the story deal with such a thing? Let's find out. Look, there they are. Out ran Margaret to join them, looking at the hills. Out came the servants from the kitchen. They all stood and gazed or looked. Over the rocky levels of the mountain was a streak of rust-colored air, locusts. There they came. At once, Richard shouted at the cook boy. Old Stephen yelled at the houseboy. The cook boy ran to beat the old plowshare hanging from a tree branch that was used to summon laborers at moments of crisis. The houseboy ran off to the store to collect tin cans, any old bit of metal. The farm was ringing with the clamor of the gong, and they could see the laborers come pouring out of the compound, pointing at the hills and shouting excitedly. The clamor of the gong refers to the sharp sound of a metallic disc. Soon they had all come up to the house, and Richard and old Stephen were giving them orders. Hurry, hurry, hurry! And off they ran again. The two white men with them, and in a few minutes, Margaret could see the smoke of fires rising from all around the farmlands. Piles of wood and grass had been prepared there. There were 7 patches of bared soil, yellow color and pink, where the new mealies were just showing, making a film of bright green, and around each drifted up thick clouds of smoke. They were throwing wet leaves onto the fires now to make it acrid and black. Margaret was watching the hills. Now there was a long, low cloud advancing, rust color still, swelling forward and out as she looked. Swelling is the increase in the size. The telephone was ringing. Neighbors, quick, quick! There come the locusts. Old Smith had his crop eaten to the ground. Quick, get your fire started. For of course, while every farmer hoped the locusts would overlook his farm and go on to the next, it was only fair to warn each other. One must play fair. Everywhere, 50 miles over the countryside, the smoke was rising from myriads of fires. Margaret answered the telephone calls, and between calls, she stood watching the locusts. The air was darkening. A strange darkness, for the sun was blazing. It was like the darkness of a veiled fire when the air gets thick with smoke. The sunlight comes down distorted, a thick, hot orange. Oppressive it was, too, with the heaviness of a storm. The locusts were coming fast. Now half the sky was darkened. Behind the reddish wheels in front, which were the advance guards of the swarm, the main swarm showed in dense black cloud, reaching almost to the sun itself. Margaret was wondering what she could do to help. She did not know. Then up came old Stephen from the lands. "We're finished, Margaret, finished. Those beggars can eat every leaf and blade off the farm in half an hour. And it is only early afternoon. If we can make enough smoke, make enough noise till the sun goes down, they'll settle somewhere else perhaps. And then get the kettle going. It's thirsty work, this." Looking out, all the trees were queer and still, clotted with insects. Their boughs weighed to the ground. The earth seemed to be moving. Locusts crawling everywhere. She could not see the lands at all. So thick was the swarm. Toward the mountains, it was like looking into driving rain. Even as she watched, the sun was blotted out with a fresh onrush of them. It was a half night, a perverted blackness. Then came a sharp crack from the bush. A branch had snapped off. Then another. A tree down the slope leaned over and settled heavily to the ground. Through the hail of insects, a man came running. "All the crops finished, nothing left," he said. What a catastrophe! This part of the story gives you an idea about the intense damage a locust attack can do. All the crops of the farmers have been eaten. All the efforts made to save the crops have gone to waste. Now, what will happen next? How will the people recover from such losses? We will find that out in the following video lesson.